The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Teddy, have you noticed how little attention science and health issues get in the media?
Totally, Edgar, yet science information is very important.
Yeah, for sure. That's why the Health Journalists Network is here.
How can they help?
They are a group of journalists dedicated to advancing public understanding of healthcare issues through impactful reporting on health and science.
Oh, really?
Yes, they meet up every month with scientists and researchers, policymakers, and activists at the science media cafes. They then relay what they discuss to the public.
Does that benefit us?
Oh yes, very much so. This helps with health and science literacy for a healthy Ugandan society.
Okay. I love getting informed about science and health issues. Health information makes all the difference between life and death. I'll look them up and engage them.
That's great. They are based all over the country.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, and they should be making real impact.
They are empowering health communities through journalism. Journalists can save lives just like doctors.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, Bikoda. Did you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly. Because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Health Hub show. My name is Esther Nakkazi. I'm a freelance science journalist and I'm a team leader at the Health Journalists Network of Uganda, which brings together journalists who write about science and health in this country. This week, Uganda and the rest of the world is celebrating World Breastfeeding Day. I guess all of you out there have heard this. You have breastfed or your mother gave you an alternative feeding, but we emphasize breastfeeding at this moment because it's very pertinent that children or infants breastfeed. We have on this show nutritionists who are talking about the benefits of breastfeeding. We would like to hear from them why mothers, in spite of their busy schedule and their work schedules, should keep at it and breastfeed their children. It is very important for women, mothers, to breastfeed their infants. And we are going to listen in to experts explaining the benefits of breastfeeding, the techniques of breastfeeding, and why you should keep at it even if you're very busy.
Currently, we have 87% of babies who are exclusively breastfed for the first 6 months of life. When we look at those who initiated on breastfeeding within the first hour of life, we have about 82% of these babies.
As the baby puts on weight, and usually the growth spurt starts around 7 months going upwards. Now the energy demands become much more than what breast milk can support. And that's why at that point, the recommendation is complement. It doesn't mean that you stop the breastfeeding. You complement the breastfeeding with additional foods.
These are preterms. Sometimes we have not given much attention to these preterms. When they are delivered, you see mothers struggling with what? The sugar water. That is what they give to glucose. That's what they give to the babies. We encourage breastfeeding even for these preterms. Those ones who cannot coordinate suckling, the mother should be able to express the breast milk and give by spoon, the way you have seen. And the stomachs of the babies are very, very what? They are tiny. A 1 day old baby can have a stomach of maybe about 5 meals. So when you express the breast milk, even if it is 2 spoons like this, you give to the baby, that is very sufficient. And of course you feed them frequently, very often. This is really very, very important. And my sister was talking about hypothermia, skin-to-skin contact, hypothermia. If these babies are also not given the breast milk, they will have what? Hypoglycemia. This is low blood what? Low blood sugar, which is also very dangerous. So they should be given the breast milk as early as possible. And this fast milk, the colostrum, is really very, very beneficial, very, very important. This is some study that was done just to inform the members here that for those the low birth weight of preterm babies, the breast milk is really very, very important for the growth and development of the what? Of the brain of this infant. The more milk that it consumes, the bigger the brain grows.
Either deliver it or by accident. Because some mothers breastfeed because you grabbed the breast milk. And when you want to breastfeed and say, you get away, I'm busy. So you find you are breastfeeding by accident. But there is the science. This mother is breastfeeding her baby. Look at how lovely she is. There are a few things that I want you to see here. Just give the comment on this mother. How the environment, the way she's doing it. Somebody just give a small description. Anybody? There's nothing right or wrong here. It's just describing what you see.
There is eye contact.
There's eye contact between
Mother and baby.
any other. She's in an isolated place. Hopefully there are no other people around. So what does that mean? She's concentrating.
Yes.
Business. Don't open, breastfeeding in progress.
It's clean.
It's clean. I like the concentration. For me, that's what I like. She's not about anything else. She's really concentrating on the business. And breastfeeding is a business. She said it. And for you to be able to get that $1 converted into $35 in return on investment, there must be concentration. Otherwise, that dollar may never come.
Have challenges. So we want to ensure that we build the capacity of all the stakeholders to promote breastfeeding. And I'm happy that we are having this meeting here. The education, BFHI, the campaigns are really very, very important. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like each one of us to examine some of these challenges and really try to tackle them as individuals, as organizations. It is possible for us to increase the breastfeeding rates in this country. I know we can make it. This year around, we are at 87% of exclusive breastfeeding, 82% early initiation. I know by the time we meet again, we shall be at 99%. So far, Uganda is standing out in the crowd of the African countries as far as exclusive breastfeeding is concerned. And it is because of you that we have reached that status.
All of us have breasts. Unfortunately, not all of us can breastfeed. God designed us such that the man's breast is vestigial. It has lost purpose. I don't know what it is for, but there are other functions we know, which may not be directly related to breastfeeding. For the woman, the design is such that that part of the body has become a factory for manufacturing milk, herein referred to as breast milk, not cow's milk, breast milk for the human being. And there's a distinction in local language, especially in Uganda, there's a distinction between amata and correct. Now you know. For those, and I think in other languages they also have the same distinction. The distinction between the cow and the, so the breast you see is capable of producing milk for the woman. And for it to be able to do that, there is a science behind it. And I just wanted us to understand, since we're here to understand a few things here, you'll be able to explain when you say, do this, do that. How about the intricate part of the breast? I want you to understand the morphology of physiology. Okay. That one. Just imagine that you have ever seen a woman's breast. If you've never seen it. It looks like this. Not exactly for all, but it looks like that. It is a boob with a dark area at the front, which we refer to as a nipple. And that dark area has been given the name as areola. They have it. When you are still a baby, both boys and girls, it's not distinct. But as we grow, girls' boob starts showing signs. By this age of ours, hopefully there's no baby here, the dark part starts appearing. There is a reason why God demarcated that area with a distinct color, or at least to distinguish it from the other part. For us, in some places, I don't know what it looks like, because I've not looked at what would be the color of a breast areola for a white lady. Has it got this? It's reddish. Yeah. There is a distinction there to demarcate it. It's like a garden, eh? It's a boundary for no-go area. Now look at it like this. For milk to be produced, you must look at this breast from outside to the inside until you reach the smaller areas inside there. Just for purpose of understanding. When you say a boob, or this mass you see here, somebody was saying the bigger it is, the more milk there is. Another one said no, it's the other way around. And someone said the opposite is correct. Now let's get the science right. This boob you see here has fat and supporting tissue to give it a shape and a size. Fat and supporting tissue. If we remove the fat and the supporting tissue and put it there, there will be something remaining. I don't know what it would look like. And that's when we say it has fallen. Most of the fat and supporting tissue probably could have gone. And then it is really flat here. But the shapes vary because of the tissue and fat. For the milk secreting cells, and we've given it a name, prolactin. Pro is for, and then lactin is to produce milk. Lactogenesis. So, that hormone is usually found in women, and during the time of breastfeeding, it's actually in abundance. We shall look at when milk is made. Then, of course, there are several of these millions of cells, and each one is lined with the milk secreting cells. Then they are joined to a duct, a small pipe. And several of these pipes collect together into that dark area. Inside there, that area now becomes a center of collection. We call it milk collecting center.
One of the things that I could highlight about this is the colostrum, which is the first milk that the mother produces. And this milk is very rich in antibodies and anti-allergens. you know? And usually when, I think doctors can relate to this, when a child is asthmatic or they have very severe eczema, they'll usually ask, when did you initiate breastfeeding? Did you initiate breastfeeding within the first hour of birth? Because colostrum is very rich in those anti-allergens, and it really helps protect your child from those allergic tendencies along the walk of life. It's not fast. It's actually very, very, very important. The first breast milk is very important. And in order for us to facilitate or to ensure that mothers breastfeed or have the right knowledge to breastfeed, we have the Baby Friendly Health Facility Initiative. And this initiative allows us to train different healthcare providers at the different facilities to make sure that when you visit these health facilities, you get the right information that you need, so that when you leave the health facility, you're actually able to effectively breastfeed your child, first of all, exclusively for the first 6 months, and then continued breastfeeding for up to at least 2 years. So in order for a mother to do this, they need support from the beginning. And in order for the mother to be supported, this is why we have the BFHI initiative. And it has different parameters. Skin to skin, if you look at number 6, to promote immediate skin-to-skin contact, coordinate discharge for ongoing support, so that you can connect mothers to other mothers within the community that can support them when they go back home, and then also when they come back for the continuous visits, you can be able to support just in case they have challenges. Someone was talking about do mothers get wounds on their breasts when they are breastfeeding. This actually happens, and one of the biggest causes of this is the improper attachment. You saw the picture where the baby was holding onto a nipple and not onto the areola, and you see that causes the nipple to be irritated. So we need to train health facility workers so that when mothers come back, they can actually be supported through all these processes.
God has designed it that the human breast milk is the best food that can ever be given to babies. So we recommend that these babies are breastfed exclusively for the first 6 months. This means that the baby should not be given anything else apart from water for the first 6 months of life, because of the so many advantages that are associated with the breast milk, which I have already alluded to. Breastfeeding is really very important for the baby. It is important for the mothers. For the baby, the breast milk has all the nutrients that are required for the normal growth of this baby. Breastfeeding also helps in bonding between the mother and the baby. This baby is able to grow up a social human being if he breastfeeds. The other one is around the intellectual capacity of these babies. Those babies who are breastfed are actually brighter compared to the ones who are not breastfeeding. To the mothers, breastfeeding is the best choice. Every mother can breastfeed, whether you are poor, whether you are rich, you can breastfeed, because the breast is always with you. The breast milk is ready at any time. It is cheap. You don't have to go and buy the food. In other words, it's food security for the mother. It is food security for the home.
You have heard from the experts and you know the benefits and techniques of breastfeeding. We have also heard from government officials that there are efforts to establish human breast milk banks. These banks are used to store human breast milk. Many women have challenges when they give birth to infants and they do not have enough breast milk. And some of them can use this breast milk to give to their children. Some children, unfortunately, are born and their mothers are not present. They die during childbirth. And these are some of the targets that
Closing the gaps and is supporting breastfeeding for each and everyone. The gaps, of course, that exist in the health facilities, not every health worker is able to offer quality breastfeeding counseling to the mothers who access these services at the facility. So this is a gap. We need to train as many health workers as possible to be able to provide the services that are required by these mothers. When it comes to families, there are some families still with some myths and misconceptions about breastfeeding. There are those mothers who say, if I express breast milk and it falls on the ground, the baby will die. So this is a time when we debunk such myths and misconceptions. The public, the mothers, we want to ensure that mothers everywhere in the country get information about breastfeeding. In the country, because we have realized there are many babies who may not have the opportunity to breastfeed from their mothers, we, together with the various partners and stakeholders, we are establishing the human breast milk banks. This has taken off in Zambia Hospital, and in Zambia Hospital we have one in Nakasero Hospital, and the most recent we have Mbale Regional Referral Hospital that has this facility. And the essence is to support those those babies who may not get the advantage of breastfeeding from their biological mothers. But this human milk is really very, very good in such circumstances. So this is something that has been started, and our vision is to see that this facility is established at the National Referral Hospital at Mulago. We need also to have such facilities in the regional referral hospitals where the babies can come and they have access to this very nutritious diet. Those in orphanage homes, those abandoned children, it is not chargeable. It is a service which is free of charge because these mothers have donated breast milk free of charge. They have not actually, they don't pay, except some services for some of the hospitals that may be paying a fee, especially those that are private for profit, private not for profit. You have to be screened for some diseases. Do you have HIV? Do you have hepatitis? Do you have any other complications that where the breast milk may not be really very safe for donation? So mothers are always screened for those abnormalities, and it is only those who do not have such complications that donate the breast milk.
There's the sharpshooter pointing forward. There is the other one. So you can name the shapes. I went to South Sudan and I was doing some work. And women who were breastfeeding had small boobs. I'm like, is there breast milk? But remember, something was running in my mind. This is where we get some of the tallest people. But the breast, I don't know, the breast doesn't need even a bra. It's like for a young girl, but this woman said this is my third child. Still, it's interesting. How God designed this. While somebody who may have never breastfed anyway could be having a big one. So let's look at it like this. The shape and the size is because of that. What remains inside there are the cells that produce breast milk. They are the same for all women. The number of breast milking cells inside there are the same. Now, this is how it is. Inside there, around the muscles, there are some cells, millions of them, millions. And each of the cells has got milk secreting smaller cells. For them, they make milk. You are not there to say, now do it like this. You just have to do a few things. We shall look at them so that the milk is produced. They are the milk secreting cells. Your body is endowed with what we call hormones. Hormones are chemicals that cause changes within your body depending on circumstances. Now the circumstance here today is to produce breast milk. You need a hormone. It stimulates what you call the milk secreting cells.
Thank you so much for listening to this show. We hope that you have learned a thing or two about breastfeeding, the benefits. The nutritionists are going on and on in this month of August and reminding you that you have to breastfeed your child and your infant. We have also heard why some women do give some milk, donate milk actually to the human breast milk banks. And we know that the government has all good intentions in putting this in place so that children who do not have their mothers or mothers who cannot express milk can actually get milk from the breast, from the human breast banks. We'll see you next time. Tune in to this show, The Health Hub. Thank you for watching.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes, it can. Although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digital.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.